Work? We're talking about work. We live in a day and age where any single person can learn to do something and be successful if they choose to do so. We live in a day and age where technology has advanced to a level where literally anything in the world you want to do, you have the ability to do. All you have to do is dedicate a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, turn off your Netflix, turn off your YouTube, and just focus. Because it's literally, of all the bad things that happen to our society because of technology, the tools were also created to help you advance, to help you grow your network, to help you grow your business, to help you start new business. You just have to focus and work hard. We're going to talk about that today. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to the Matt Kim Podcast. I am your host, Matt Kim, joined by my co-host, Mr. Peter Saddington.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. My heart goes out to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to be talking about work, which is pretty much all the only thing that Matt and I do these days.
That's all we do right now. But before we start, do some work. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, check in. SAR.
Check in, SAR.
Let us know you're here.
You got it. Let us know. We got Telegram, we got Instagram, we got YouTubes, we got Discord, we got everything you need. And we have Sojooo, SOJ.OOO. Check it out. There's a lot of violence happening over there right now.
Every day.
It's a war-torn battle zone.
Dude, can I tell you my favorite thing about Sojooo is right now?
You tell
is
me.
that there is this guy, Mitsukawa or something, Mitsukawa.
He's probably a 45-year-old white dude with a neck beard.
I think it may be Peter sometimes.
Maybe.
But there is a guy out there that's been making these comics. These comic strips every single day. And it started comic strip day one. I was like, all right, what's this guy doing? Because it was like AI drafted and he was making these comments. I was like, all right, I don't really understand what's going on here. And then day two and day three.
He's not a white guy because the English is not exactly
well, I don't know if
perfect.
that's intentional or not.
That's
that might
true.
be a troll.
Yeah, but my Englishy is not so good either.
But I think it was on Saturday. I was coming back from LA and I was on my phone. I'm scrolling through Sojooo. And I was like, where's episode 8? I was like missing it. I was like,
He's part of your schedule now.
he's part of my. I was like, where's episode 8?
Part of your daily Come
And then-
on!
And then I logged in the next day. It was there. I was like, oh, thank God. He's
Daily
still around.
programming.
Yes.
You've been programmed by Sojooo already.
I was literally looking for the next day's comic, and it's getting better and better and better. And he's incorporating all kind of the main characters within the app into his comic. And I'm the biggest fan of this comic strip. I want to make it into a movie one day. And
So are you saying that this Sojooo, SOJ.OO, this technology platform, this freedom tool is actually now being leveraged at a second layer application level by other individuals that are leveraging your platform to do creative works?
I don't know what's going on. All I know is I am so addicted to this comic.
It's like Salesforce. Salesforce creates a product, and then there's an economy that grows on top of it.
All I know is every day I wake up, I'm like, dude, is the next episode out?
So
I'm like waiting for it.
So when are we implementing tipping, Sar? When can I tip him? Because if the comics are good, I want to tip him some
Yes.
Sojooo token or some Sojooo coin.
Well, we are working on a currency. That currency should be out. I don't know when, but it's an actual currency. And hopefully we'll incorporate that into Sojooo so that you can tip, you can provide. The only problem with tipping in the app is that all of a sudden people will look, okay, that's tipped a lot. Maybe that's more important.
There is there is psychology to it for sure.
And then you can gamify that.
Yeah.
So that's a thought process that we're trying to figure out.
I'm almost feeling like you should not have the tips.
Or the tips are completely anonymous, meaning the person
You don't
receives
even,
it,
You don't know.
but there's no marker saying that this
because
received
the
a lot of tip.
gamification. Yeah.
Which is, you remove the gamification, will people actually tip? I don't know. I would tip the comic book if I could.
I mean, I feel like I scrolled through that really quickly because there's so much happening. It is a shotgun blast to the face. Like the first time you log on, you're like, holy shit, there is no theme. It's all over the place. But there's great conversations when you dig into it. The thing that I love whenever I log on is just the new ones with like 20, 30 comments within the first hour. It's like, oh, this is a fire starter. I like these. I like this conversation. and that's what makes it so fun because you can jump immediately into pretty deep, pretty thoughtful, but at the same time, you get a lot of banter. You get a lot of back and forth. So I like being able to jump into these conversations like right in the heat of the battle.
I'm a huge fan of the comic book. I hope that never stops. I want to publish it into an actual comic book one day.
Keep going, Sar.
Love it.
Keep going, Sar.
So go check out Sojooo, please.
So we're talking about work.
Yes. I think that, a lot of people say, because right now everyone is so focused on the tariffs, everyone is so focused on the economy. And the reality is, if we really wanted to, we could spend an entire episode talking about the tariffs and the economy, which we actually discussed pre-show. Like, maybe we should do this episode.
Well, the reality is, if I may, the reality is nobody has any idea. Nobody has any stinking clue. Because let's just get to the base of the base. The world is a complex system. With any type of complex system, the outcome can never be predetermined in a complex system. Like, just because we have this lever called tariffs doesn't mean that we have any knowledge or foreknowledge of how that's going to affect the macro economy. At the end of the day, Europe could say, no, Sar. China could say, yes, Sar. Right? Africa could say, no, Sar. We have no idea how people are going to respond. So at the end of the day, we have all these pundits, we have all these technology people, these political pundits, these social pundits that are saying, tariff this, tariff that. The reality is, you have no idea, Sar, any idea of what's going to happen. But it does look like Trump, according to the pundits, is intentionally tanking the economy for, accordingly, the purpose of rebaselining our debt.
Maybe he was.
5D
Maybe he
chess.
thought that far ahead. Maybe it's you thought that this would work, and maybe he didn't even think that the economy crashed. Maybe he thought it would just fix everything. No clue.
Nobody has any idea.
But this is a game he's playing. There's nothing we can do to stop that at this point because the cards have been laid and played. So in 1 year, the economy is either be great or it's going to be absolute dog shit.
Well,
These are your options. You're at 50-50.
well, can I back up a little bit, though? For us to say that the economy is dog shit based on stock market
Correct.
is foolery.
Yep.
What percentage of Americans, 350 million large, what percentage of Americans are actively engaged in the stock market, Matt? The answer is like 1%.
My wife, I woke up the other day, my wife was on the phone with a bank and she was calling banks going, what's your CD rate? I was like, because she has like her own stock portfolio. I couldn't believe it. As soon as I woke up, she was trying to call banks to get CD rates because she was like, maybe I need to move my stocks.
Really?
That's what she was thinking.
Well,
I was like, holy shit.
Then you're one of the 1%. The reality is the vast
Well,
majority.
normally it just sits there. It's been sitting there for years.
Yeah, and
and all of a sudden.
and she should just let it sit there.
Yeah,
There's no need for action here.
I'm like, dear, you got really lucky, and she bought a bunch of Nvidia a few years ago, like 2020. She bought Nvidia.
Should have bought Tesla.
I think Tesla, Nvidia, and Microsoft.
Oh, she's making bank.
So I was like, relax.
Yeah, chill,
You'll
homie.
be fine.
Chill, homie.
You did
good.
really well.
You're fine.
Wife,
Yeah.
love you.
Yeah, you fine, girl. You fine. And so I just find it fascinating that everyone's all up in arms about the economy based on this one factor called the stock market. The majority of Americans aren't involved in the stock market. So for us to have this psyop that the stock market's down and therefore the world is going under, it's like, actually, no. Not at all, actually, sir. Only the 1% that are actually involved in the stock market are the ones that are doing all these these television shows saying the world's ending. And the reality is the stock market has very little bearing on the daily lives of a regular American today. Is the way that I see it.
I think that it's very easy to focus on stocks as an indicator of success.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's a very external way of looking at your money.
And it's
your
a
supply.
lagging indicator.
I think really what people need to do, and almost every single podcaster or every news is focused really on the numbers of the stocks. But that's actually not providing value to your real daily lives.
No.
Because you can spend your entire life, you can spend your entire day worrying about all the indexes, worrying about where it's going up, it's going down, it's red, it's green, etc. I'm investing in this. The reality is that you have full control of your life. You have full control of the direction of your life. And instead of spending so much time focused outward, I think we can take today to focus inward. Because I think everyone's trying to get you to think about what's going on in the external world. And yes, it's important, but people are losing sight of the things that they can control because they're spending so much time focused on things that they cannot control. So that's kind of what I want to do today. I think that would make us the outlier in this discussion, talking about tariffs and economy, because again, everyone's focused on things they can't control.
Yeah, which is again much ado about nothing. Can you control that Trump's doing tariffs? No. Can you control that Africa said yes and China said no? No. Should you get upset about any of the things that are happening? The answer is no. Close your door, turn off the internet, turn off the mobile device, and get to work.
Get to work. Well, for some people, if you want to get to work, you need the mobile device, you need the computer.
Get to work.
But get to work.
Get to work. Right, and focus on that which you can control, I think is the theme here, right?
I think we're in a day and age, because a lot of people ask, Matt, like, I want to start a new business, or I want to do something else, or I'm stuck in this kind of rat maze, and I'm kind of grinding, my job sucks, and I want to do something else to better my family, but at the same time, I'm stuck where I am. And my answer has been pretty consistent over the years, which is that we live in a day and age where through technology, you can learn anything that you want to learn.
Anything.
If you spend 3 hours a day for an entire year and focus on one thing, and if it's one thing that you actually enjoy and you like and you care about, even better. If you spend 1 year to learn and become an expert in that one thing that you care about, because then you enjoy it, in 1 year, you'll have an idea for an amazing business.
Yes, and if we can, because you're a successful businessman, and what's nice about the Matt Kim podcast is we're building in public, and so you can go back to episode number 1, and you can see how janky and how awkward and how autistic and how we were feeling our way through. And so, what's great about building in public and building the Matt Kim podcast in public is you can see the steps that we took to execute upon this idea. And so the short answer is just go and do it.
Yes.
And don't quit. I feel like that's the answer for pretty much 99% of everyone's problems is pick something and don't quit. I think we have too many people who start today. We have too many starters, not enough finishers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. I think that people...
It's easy to start.
Yeah, it's easy to have a decent idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be a world-changing idea.
Yeah.
But like, I would really like to have this type of business, XYZ business. And they get through like month 1. And they're like, it's a little difficult.
Yeah,
it's not working.
It's harder than I thought.
It's not working exactly like I thought in my mind.
Yeah.
And like, and then all of a sudden you drift and you start watching too much Netflix again. You start watching too much YouTube again. And all of a sudden you're like, I'm going to do something else.
Yeah.
You don't go through the difficult part, which is that anytime you have an idea, it's just a spur. It's just the beginning. That it's not officially hashed out because you don't know a lot of the pitfalls you're going to see along the way. And you get in, you hit your first kind of resistance, and you're like, this is not exactly what I hoped for, and you give up. Yeah. That's the time that you have to double down and try harder.
Yes.
Because, again, you can learn anything you want in life if you choose to do so. This is the biggest luxury that this generation has, this timeline has, over any previous generation.
We are at the lowest cost and lowest risk of failure today than any other point in history.
It is literally free to learn whatever you want in life.
Yeah.
You can literally take MIT classes for free.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
You can learn how to do literally anything you want on YouTube for free.
Not wrong.
YouTube University is actually phenomenal.
Not wrong.
It's the best university in the world.
Yes.
Because it's free.
I tell my kids to go to YouTube before they go to anywhere else because that's how you learn. Other people showing you how to do it.
And everyone at the end of the day has 3 hours to spare if they really choose to do so.
They truly do.
If you just turn off your apps, you turned off your doom scrolling, you turned off the bar, you turned off your ball sports.
Stop playing with your balls.
Then you can find 3 hours a day. And the reality is most people in their real jobs only work 3 hours a day anyway.
No, not wrong.
So there are 3 hours a day to find. If you do 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, 21 hours a week, and you do that over the course of a year, you will become an expert in something.
Yes, and you will learn. And if I can add some structure to this conversation, because I run these experiments all the time. You guys can see on my YouTube, Matt's been with me long enough. Like, I run 2 types of experiments. I run 90-day experiments and year-long experiments. The reason why I love 90-day experiments is because 90 days is exactly the point in which you despise the discipline you've created to learn this thing. But also, 90 days gives you the balance on the other side of that token, which is you now know enough to know whether you want to do it, you want to continue to do it, or whether you're not good enough and it requires more effort. And so what I love about the 90-day window is at the 90-day mark, whenever I'm done learning something, whether it's AI or code or some new thing, at the end of 90 days, the answer is always the same for me. The answer is, fuck, I hated this 90 days. I'm so glad I did it because I will never do that shit again. I'm glad I persevered long enough to know intelligently that I will never do this thing again. Or the answer is, I'm so glad I did it. It was hateful, but I learned something and now I can leverage it to provide value in other areas of my life. And so that is the 90-day window I would highly recommend for anybody who's trying to do something. Commit to 90 days. That will teach you whether you're good enough, you're competent enough, and whether you want to persevere on it.
Our friend Andy Frisella wrote a book called 75 Hard. And I think it's a really good book. I think it's a good program that anyone can actually do if they choose to do so. It's 75 days of doing the same exact regimen, just to reframe your mind, to rewire your brain, and change your habits.
Just like 90 days, same.
Yeah, 75 days. That's what he did. It's 75 hard. And basically, there are 4 things that he tells you in the book to do. It is 1, pick a diet. Doesn't even matter what diet. Just pick a diet, whatever diet you want, and just do that diet every day for 75 days, no matter what. Doesn't matter if it's a no carb diet, if it's a keto diet, if it is I'm just going to not eat sugar diet. It doesn't matter what the diet is. Pick one diet and do that for 75 days.
And the outcome is you learn about yourself, right?
Number 2 is what he tells you to do is work out twice a day. 1 indoor and 1 outdoor. 45 minutes each. No matter what, every single day, rain or shine. And the reason why he does it outdoor is that even if it's uncomfortably outside, you have to go outside.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what the workout is. Just work out. Twice a day, 75 days. Doesn't matter what the workout is. Just need to be dedicated time for workout.
Just be active.
Twice a day. Number 3 is you read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every single day. Doesn't matter what the book is. Pick whatever topic you're interested in. 10 pages every single day. And number 4 is you take a picture of yourself. A selfie. Gives you a responsibility and accountability. That's it. That's the entire program. 75 days of doing those 4 things every single day. And if you miss a day, you start at day 1.
Oof. That's hardcore.
I first met with Andy Frisella, all these people were messaging me like, bro. And one guy even sent me a picture of his tattoo. Tattoo said like 122. I was like, what the hell is 122? It took me 122 days to do 75 hard.
Oh, wow.
This guy forgot his selfie picture on day 73 or day 74, and he started over.
That's when you know you're not cheating yourself.
No cheating.
No cheating.
And what every single person that has that's completed this program has told me that has reframed the way that they work, because they get used to doing mundane tasks, even though it doesn't seem important. It's something that they're supposed to do, and it creates accountability for themselves.
Yes.
The ability to start over on day 73 or day 74 because you forgot to take a selfie is crazy.
And that's
I love that, by the way.
I love that too. And the reason it's gonna kind of be on the hairline of crazy here. But the reason why I love it is because that type of 2 things. That type of program is almost impossible for the average human being. Which, if you think about this, in today's society, choose a diet, work out every day, read, and take a selfie. Like, there's not a single human on the planet that shouldn't be able to do this. Like, come on, fuckstick. Choose a diet, work out, read, and take a selfie. But the fact remains, 99.99999% of the entire world cannot even do that. It shows how weak our society is. So that's what I love, number 1. But number 2, and this is the borderline crazy, for those who actually complete the 75 strong,
hard,
they are transformed forever.
Yes.
And they are, I would take a gander and say, they're probably not 10x, 100x better. Because they finally maybe reintroduce themselves to this idea called discipline. And man, I'll tell you, discipline is the only thing that has dollar signs attached to the end of that. Like truly. Think about the equation is simple. Discipline is the only thing that has dollar signs attached to the end of that. You discipline yourself. You talked about this earlier. You choose any task, any project, any endeavor, any hobby, any idea. You do that for a year. You do that for 90 days. You learn something. You might even become proficient. You might even find a way to make money. But this word discipline is such a heavy word that I think most adults today lack, and that's why there's all this pontification about what's going on outside, because no one is able to control themselves inside. And so we're spending all of this time talking about tariffs, talking about the world around us, when in reality you need to do the Jordan Peterson thing, which is go home and clean your fucking room.
Yeah. The beauty of the book is not the program, because the program is so simple.
Yeah.
The beauty of the book is that it tells you what you're going to go through from a mental state at each stage of the progress.
The disillusionment. Yeah.
Yeah. So in 7 days, in your first 7 days, this is what you're going to feel. And this is normal. This is how you overcome it. Yeah. In your second week and third week, you're going to start having these feelings and these thoughts. And this is going to make it difficult for you. This is how you overcome it. The third stage, you're going to run into this issue and you're going to start feeling regret. You're going to want to give up. Yeah. This is what people have gone through.
Regrets.
And it's anecdotes of people that have been through that specific phase of which you are, in order to help you get to the next stage.
Yeah, so he's bringing in like a cloud of witnesses to say, you're not alone.
Yes.
You can persevere through this week.
Yes.
I got you. So have you done the program?
I haven't done the program, but we actually sent it over to, as soon as I came back from Andy Frisella's, I took the book and I gave it to Mike. And Mike did it. And if you've seen him recently.
That's where this is all coming from?
Do you know how lean he looks?
Dude,
he looks amazing. He's in the gym every day.
Let me pause you. So Big Mike, tall guy, helps out with all of Matt's business. We had a conversation maybe a month and a half ago, me and him, when he was in here, and we were talking about his new discipline, his new outlook on life. He's leaning up, he's working out. Like, he was telling me all this stuff, and for me, I was sitting there. I was right out there in the lobby. I was sitting there. I was thinking, man, I'm so glad you took responsibility for your life. I don't know where this is coming from, but I see it. I love it. And
he's a different person.
He's a completely different person. So this is where this is coming from?
He read, as soon as I came back, I was like, Mike, I wrote in the thing, this is for you. I think this is going to be better for something like this. And I gave it to him, and he read the book, and he's like, I'm going to do this. And he lost, 60 pounds?
Yeah.
70 pounds?
Yeah, he looks so much better.
He looks like, he's like jacked like crazy.
He's got a frame that could destroy you if he wanted to go into hardcore like
you do
bodybuilding.
Not want him punching you.
Dude, he has a natural frame where he could be an agile 280.
Yeah.
Like fucking destroy you.
Yeah.
280, like the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got
and
that.
It started from this idea of doing 75 hard, finding a community of people, because once you join in, there are other people that are going through it, and they are supportive of one another. And it's transformed his life. It's transformed his physique. It's transformed his mental acuity.
Yeah, his outlook on life.
Everything.
Like, he was even preaching to me a little bit. Where it was like, okay, neophyte, like, you're all hopped up on this like motivation juice. And when someone tells, like, understand my point. When someone says, Peter, you need to, it's like, I probably already know exactly what you're going to tell me I need to do. Yeah. But I get it. You're excited. Thank you for that, lovin'. And Mike, keep going. My brother, my ninja.
I think it's pretty amazing. And I think that's really what people should be focused on right now. I think that when the world seems like it's in chaos, we got to stop looking so external, and we got to start looking internal.
So,
because these are the only things that actually you can control, right? Work on the things you can control, and let the things that are out of your control, just let them go for a little bit. Because those problems will always be there. President going like wild, wild west on the entire world, it's still going to exist in a month.
Yeah.
You know, the economy going and the stock market going up and down, the crypto going up and down and everything. Like, you can't be sitting around going, holy shit, one moon, one Lambo. Like, that can't be your life. You need to start focusing on processes and different actions which can improve your actual situation.
So do you have any tips for, we probably have a pretty good substantial amount of entrepreneurs, people that are high net worth, people who are maybe thinking about making their side hustle their main hustle type of deal. Do you have any tips, or do you have any ideas for those that are thinking about, I'm resonating with what Matt's saying. I don't know if I'm into this 75 hard. That seems a little bit strong for me. What would you say to the individuals who are trying to get their first steps into the next thing?
I think the most important thing when you start a business is you have to understand what your actual mission is. And if your mission is, I want to make money, I think it's actually really tough because monetization and how to make money ends up being the determinant in every decision that you make.
Yeah, it becomes the focal point for everything. And then sometimes that making money as the focal point isn't always the right focus.
And that becomes the lens in which you perceive your own business. And because so many businesses focus on money only, that your business ends up being just like every other business.
Yeah.
It looks like a carbon copy of everyone else. There's no differentiating factor.
Well, yeah, because if you only focus on money, the race is always to the bottom.
Correct.
Right.
I think that people need to have some sort of purpose and some sort of mission with their business. I think those are the best businesses. And I think if you have a clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve outside of make money and you provide value to the world, if you're constantly providing value, that monetary value will grow with it.
And so you would say you have to start with a good mission and good purpose and then stay disciplined to that.
Correct.
Over the long haul.
I think that's really important because the ultimate value is in scarcity, right? And if you do it just like everybody else, which is how do I make more money and how do I extract value, then you're not scarce. You're doing what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, you're commodity.
Yeah, you're never going to make a lot of money doing what everyone else is doing. You got to do it differently. And I think doing it differently is really simple. Just doing it with purpose.
Does social media and marketing online is like standard practice these days? And I almost wonder, in your opinion, has social media changed in your mind in terms of the value of social media for starting your company and starting your brand or starting the hustle that you're doing? Is it important to do that, or should you just grind and be kind of in a hole and get stuff done before you even start thinking about social?
I think social media is important. I think if you let people into your thought process, like we're doing now, anytime we have an idea, we talk about, we casually talk about, people have an idea of what we're working. We're not hard pitching all the time. Yeah. At the same time, they know we're working on things. I think that is a really good way to do it. I think that you let people into your world. I think that authenticity and integrity and genuinity, I think these are really valuable in the long run. That people will buy what you're selling if they trust you. And I think that that's where we are. I think we're in a world where everything is so artificial. AI is running everything. That everything is so manufactured. Even content is manufactured. Narratives are manufactured. News is manufactured. Everything is so manufactured that when you run into someone that feels real, you're like, I don't really know what they're selling, but I kind of want to buy from him.
Right. And so I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm curious though. Would you say if you're starting anything today, it's important to, and this is a popular term these days, to build in public? I used that word earlier. Would you say that if you're going to be starting anything today, you should build it in public?
Well,
meaning socializing it from the very beginning, saying, "Hey, I'm starting this thing. I'm on day one, but I'm beginning."
So Anthony, I'm going to talk about you. I'm sorry. So Anthony, who's our Discord mod and one of our favorite mods out there, who's super helpful in everything that we do on the back end of the podcast, who's been a really big part of our team, Anthony. He is launching a new company. And he said, I'm going to launch a new company and I'm going to be doing metal engraving into different things. And it's a really good idea. It's really cool.
Super cool.
Super cool.
He's passionate about it.
He's very passionate about it. And I said, Anthony, you need to be documenting from like now on.
Yeah.
If you're setting up a new office and you're setting up your machinery, like document that. Even if you don't know what you're doing on the internet, be like, hey, TikTok, I am doing this. And I'm going to engrave things. And here's my office. And it doesn't look like much right now, but this is it. And then day 10, there's progress. And you're like, hey, look, like this, document it. Yeah. Because even if no one watches it now, eventually they can go back. You understand the idea of evergreen content. People will eventually find you and go back and see where you came from.
Yep.
But you have to do it throughout the process. And he's like, well, I got other things going on, so I'm going to do that later. I'm like, no, bro. You need to start doing that today. You need to start that immediately because you can never go back in time and make content based on stuff you've done in the past.
Yeah.
You need to keep on talking about it, talk about it publicly, because these are the tools that we have.
And that's, you just touched on the number one constraint for all operators, entrepreneurs, people who have a side hustle, people who have an idea, is that we all know social is table stakes. You have to have social media. Period. Full stop. How are they going to learn about you? How are they going to know about you? But what you just brought up is the number one biggest constraint from all these people, which is, man, I don't want to have to talk about it online. I want to make an Instagram account. They're going to see my face. Yes. So what would be your tip for those who say, Matt, I have this idea, I have this passion, I've been noodling on it for years, and I'm thinking about doing this, but man, I just don't know if I can get in front of the camera, man. What would you say to those people? Because I have my answers, but I'd love to hear what your opinion would be on that.
If you believe in your business and you believe in the vision of why your business exists, then it becomes an extension of who you are.
Yes.
If you don't want to talk about your business publicly, it just means that you don't believe in your business.
Brother, say less.
You're in the wrong business.
Brother, say
Pick
less.
something else.
You got it.
Do something different.
You got it.
But if you really believe in the vision and mission of your business, then you're going to be so excited to tell people that you're going to tell every single person you meet because it's an extension of you.
Yes.
It's solving a problem in this world that you legitimately think is a problem.
Yes.
Meaning that when you talk about it, you're giving people a solution to something that you've identified the world as a problem. You're providing value to people. But if your business is, how do I take from people rather than how do I give to people? If you're trying to take people's value instead of trying to give people's value, then you're gonna be apologetic about your business and you're not gonna want to talk about it. It means you have a shit business.
You got it. You got it.
You should be proud to talk about the business that you're involved in. Because again, that means that you are providing value, not taking value.
You got it.
A lot of people get involved in meme coins and they're like, oh yeah, they shill it online, like unlimited, but they don't want to tell their friends and family about it.
Yeah, because they're ashamed.
Because they know that if they tell the people around them, they are stealing their value.
Yeah.
If you really believed in your shitcoin project, you'd be telling your friends about it.
Unashamedly so.
Unashamedly, because you know in your heart that you're providing them value.
Yes.
Don't be in businesses where you are taking value. Be involved in the business where you're giving value.
I love it.
Because if you do that, you will be the biggest proponent of your own business.
Yes.
Meaning that you give me a camera, I'm excited to tell this person.
Yes.
I'm excited to tell the random person in the street. I'm excited to tell my cousin. I'm excited to tell my brother. I'm excited to tell everyone because I am trying to provide value to the world and to the people around me.
So what do you... Yeah, your answer is very much in line with the answer that I give to these young bloods who say, well, Peter, I don't know if I can, I can get in front of a camera. My answer to them always is very simply this. Nobody cares about you or your product or your life enough to market it for you. Period, full stop. And whenever I say that to these young bloods, they're always kind of pause and like, they let it sink in. It's like, nobody cares about me enough. And the short answer is yes. Nobody cares about you enough to do your life for you, to build your product for you, to show your product for you. So if you don't believe in the product, the service that you're creating, that you're putting time and effort into, and you don't believe hard enough to want to communicate that to other people, who's going to do that for you? And the answer always on the tip of their tongue is nobody else. And that's where I look at them and say, nobody will, so you must. And so what do you say to the individual? Because I've gotten pushback on this. Matt, what do you say to those people who say, yes, Matt, I recognize that I have to be the one to communicate my own value and communicate what I'm doing because I'm passionate about it. But Matt, man, I just don't know if I can get online. Can I hire someone to do that? What would you say to someone like that?
If you are extremely competent in your technical ability, if you are a technician of some sort, a technologist, if you have a skill, and maybe your skill is not communicating. Maybe your skill is not being able to narrate your own story because some people are more extroverted, some people more introverted. Then this is an opportunity where you find someone to be a part of your team that can do that because you need the external and you need the internal, right? You need someone that can tell your story effectively to be an advocate for you. And maybe that's just not something that you will ever be good at. Some people have to be realistic about where the competencies are.
Yeah, but I would disagree with you a little bit there because we have your Sam Altmans, we have your Elon Musks, Right. We have our silver tongue, Vivex, who are, great at communicating, right? Terrible at executing because all he did was lose people money. And so we have a pretty broad swath of autists and professional marketers out there that have succeeded. So in my opinion, I find it to be a little bit of a weak argument to say that,
Fair.
hey, I need to hire or bring someone on, because that brings on a co-founder who might not be as passionate about this or not believe in it to the depths of the DNA that you believe in it. And so there's always a risk there.
Correct.
And so I not that I disagree with the fact that you shouldn't have someone who's probably better at communicating outwardly when you have funding, when you have traction, when you've actually built something. But dadgummit, brother, if you're a solopreneur and you have this idea and you're passionate about it, but you're not willing to talk about it online, I say, fuck off. Go find someone else to waste time with. Dead serious. Like, people, these young bloods think that money is the solution to everything. Money is not the solution to your shitty product. Your idea is not good. Your product idea is not good. You're not mature enough. You don't understand the market. So how is money going to make it better? Money is just going to exacerbate the fact that you are going to spend it in unfortunate and unrealistic and probably irrational and probably irresponsible ways. You're gonna buy beanbags and ping pong tables and shit, right? And so, like, I'm gonna hold firm to my belief that if you're
Fair.
a solopreneur, you need to be communicating that shit. You need to be doing it online. You need to have Instagram X. You need to have all of this. It's just part of the game now.
People see me on the internet and they're like, oh, Matt, he naturally does this. And the reality is, I don't know if you remember, the very first time I tried to turn on a camera,
I was there.
it was literally the worst thing ever. The very first time I tried to turn on a camera, talk to a camera, actually, no one's ever seen that footage. I was in a parking lot. I was in a parking lot by myself, and I said, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna talk to a camera, and I recorded it. And I didn't know what to do. And there's no one around me. Empty parking lot, completely by myself. Hi guys.
I've seen some of these videos though. I've seen some of these.
Fuck. Wait, what are you doing? Like, Matt, I'm like, wait, I can't, fucking record. And I deleted. I'm like, why am I deleting my own video? No one actually saw it. No one even, what am I embarrassed for?
Man, how far you've come, Matt. How far you've come.
The reality is that even speaking in front of a camera, talking to a camera, it's not something that I naturally did.
No.
It's actually a learned skill.
100%. And if I can harken back to your first major interview with Tucker Carlson, doing it live stream, and first time live stream too.
Yes.
I was sitting here and Will was there, and you had everything set up here, and the energy, it was this anxiety, this nervous.
So nervous.
The nervous energy was so thick. Do you remember, Will? And all I could do to kind of like shake some of the nervous energy that was coming out of Matt was just getting up and walking around. Do you remember getting up and walking around? Because I was just like pacing because I was waiting for Tucker to come on, But let me get to the point. The point is that you just did it.
Yeah.
And it might sound gay for a second, and I don't mind. But
Hey.
But I was really proud of you, man.
Well, thank you.
Oh, I was like, do you remember the picture in the background? I was like, yeah, he did it. He did it with Tucker. You didn't fuck up.
No.
You had a great conversation. So like, it's moments like that I'll go back to in the kind of the trials and tribulations and the growth of the Matt Kim podcast that remind me of how far we've come. And it's
I mean, do you remember the first time I did a news hit? The very first time I did a hit on someone else's show was Steve Bannon's show.
That's right. When you were on Steve Bannon's show.
It was the very first time, and I don't think they knew that. It was the very first time ever that I had been on someone else's show, and it was on Steve Bannon's War Room.
Yeah,
which is crazy because that's a really big show considering I'd never done this before.
Yeah, and you did fine.
And I was so nervous, and I was looking everywhere. My eyes were darting left and right, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with my hands. And I don't remember what I said.
And you did fine.
You just gotta go through it.
Water under the bridge.
You just figure it out.
You really do. And I bet for those who've walked with us this far, some of you guys will remember the Steve Bannon. Some of you guys remember the Tucker interview. You guys were there. But for those, we have more people who weren't there than we have that were. And so for those of you guys who are watching this episode, go back. Watch the Steve Bannon episode. Watch the Tucker Carlson episode. You'll see
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but you'll see Matt in a different light. It's not a bad light. It's just it shows the maturation and the maturity that Matt and I have gone through over the last couple of years building this, and it's really profound to see. So I highly recommend that you do.
I think it's really interesting if people go back and see our very first episode together, which I think was episode 3 or episode 4, right? Because I had the one with Haas, I had one with E, I had a couple before. And so you were like the 4th person to ever come record. And I think that, if you watch that one of where we started to where we are now, it's like, I can't watch it because it makes me cringe.
Really? I need to go watch it now. So what Matt's essentially saying is he had 4 other potential co-hosts to come on. I was the 5th, and he was like, "Fuck it, Peter's he's not the worst of the worst."
No, in the beginning there was no co-host intention.
Yes.
Well, you're not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to. I'm trying to lub it up, man.
No.
I'm trying to get the juju.
And then after you guys did yours, I was like, huh.
This works.
Matt, you should have Peter back.
Yeah.
and that's when you started coming back like once every other month or whatever.
Okay, all right. So we'll give credit to Will. Will was the recommendation that I come back. I didn't fuck it up too bad.
No.
I'll take credit for that.
Well, because, I've told this story in other shows before, is that before we started this podcast, I had never been on a podcast before.
Yeah.
I had no background, no knowledge, no understanding how it works. Actually, the very first day we decided we're going to do a podcast, we literally opened the computer, went to Google, said, how to start a podcast. Like, we started at literally ground zero.
Oh, yeah.
With no background knowledge at all. No idea how cameras work, no idea how to set up mics. Like, all of this was completely foreign. And over time, you learn one thing at a time. And now I can walk into any podcast and be like, all right, you should do this, you should do this, this is how it works.
Yes.
I've had people ask me to come in and consult, help them set up. I've had TV studios ask me to come in, and media networks ask me to come in and be like, hey, can you help us figure this out? Because we want to do what you're doing. I'm like, dude, I literally learned by myself.
Yes.
There's no training, there's no education. It's literally YouTube University and trial and error.
And this is when the internet trolls will comment right now and say, "Oh man, all this experience and all that you've this professional show. How much money have you made?" The answer is fuck zero. We've earned nothing. So clearly, Matt hasn't learned how to monetize this podcast over the last 2.5 years, guys. So there's nothing to learn here. Show's over.
But the reality is that through the podcast, there are other opportunities. Meet interesting people. The network continues to grow. Get new opportunities. And the podcast, like Sojooo, is something that I consider really almost sacred. I don't want it to be a place where monetization drives narrative.
Yes.
And this is the thing that I think I'm comfortable doing that in Sojooo because I've been so comfortable doing that in the podcast, is that I don't want outside money to dictate the direction of the podcast. So sometimes people will be like, Matt, Peter, you guys are talking out of your ass. You guys not supposed to say this, or we don't agree. I can't believe you went there. Last week, people are really pissed off that we considered the idea of a Trump third term. Like, you guys are normalizing this idea. Dude, we're just thinking out loud.
Yeah. And
we are beholden to literally nobody.
That's right. And we can look at you in the eye and say, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. We have no responsibility
Exactly.
to anybody.
No
one can tell us you can't say that. No one can say we don't agree. Like the people watching, people listening can say that.
Yeah, because
and we're reading it. Yeah. Just so you know, we understand people are upset. Just like people are upset when I said I think that the migration crisis is overblown.
Yeah.
And people, I think like 1,000 people unsubscribed that day.
Dude, I have white nationalists in my DMs right now that are like, "Oh, you're awesome, but also fuck off." So yes, we got all sides of the equation.
But that's why I enjoy what we do.
Yeah,
I think
there's
that
no
over
strings
time,
on us.
This will scale. I don't think we need to figure out the monetization because it'll figure itself out over time. And we just stay true to what we're doing, which is we just literally think out loud, which is why it's called the Free Thinker Army. Because
Captain
we
Obvious.
think out loud for free.
Sad face. Someday we're gonna make money, guys. No, but I love the fact that the Matt Kim podcast is the truest form of building in public today, and one of the greatest examples to everyone out there, because we're talking about work and discipline. Those are the key words today. Work and discipline. Is that with work and discipline and good mission, right? You can achieve amazing things. And the reality is you'll actually become pretty good at it.
Yes.
And so the choice really is yours on how you want to monetize it. Now, Matt has specifically chosen not to be beholden to any people, and there are no strings attached to us. This is fair. But at the same time, we have gotten this to a level where it can substantially make great money if we were to decide to sell our souls. If we were to decide to compromise.
I think
you and I could be driving Lambos.
I think if we were in a more of a niche demographic, like we were a purely tech channel, and all we did was talk about trending technology, then to have sponsors that align with that actually would be extremely easy to do.
Oh yeah, we could be like
a
Linus Tech Tips, where they send us keyboards and computers.
Yeah,
to
like,
build.
we love this cup. This is amazing. This is the best cup I've ever used.
Yeah,
like
128 gigs.
It's easier to monetize. It's easier to monetize when you niche.
Yes.
The problem with what we do is that we are free, meaning we talk about literally anything. Meaning it's a little bit more difficult to monetize. Not that we can't, but it's hard to find things that I feel like align more closely to what we believe.
Certainly,
which is why we're building our own things, rather than relying on someone else.
Yes. So very much the Joe Rogan-esque type of theme, where it's you get to speak freely. There's no strings attached, but it's at the compromise of the fact that you still have to work to live.
Although I am going to have a conversation with Joe and let him know that this ExpressVPN thing that he's shilling, which is literally a Mossad psyop, that he's shilling it a little bit too hard, and he does it, and Tucker does it, and everyone's been selling ExpressVPN. Again, Mossad. So I don't know if you could do that. So once you know, like, you can't unsee it.
So could one say that Joe Rogan and Tucker are Mossad agents? Contractors? A contractor is someone's paid to do something. Contractor.
It's like, it's a jump. It's not an impossible jump.
I mean, there have been plenty of, let's say, opportunities which the great internet trolls and the internet sleuths have found of where Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson are, let's just say, dancing around the topic sometimes.
I think the topic is so sensitive that people are... This is a problem when you have sponsors. When you have big sponsors that are aligned with certain views and missions, then all of a sudden you end up avoiding those topics and you avoid those narratives to not piss off your sponsors. And even though they're not telling you what to say, you know where they align.
Yeah.
And therefore, naturally, it's just human nature, by the way.
You self-censor.
Yeah, it's just human nature. It's not even that you're intentionally avoiding it. Just humans naturally want to avoid conflict and naturally want to avoid creating situations to affect the people that maybe have been supportive of you. So it's not even, it doesn't necessarily mean it's from a bad place. It's just that that's what people do. Is that if I'm around and I'm in one demographic, you just want to avoid it because I'm in that demographic and I've actually helped you.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to rock the boat.
Don't really
you don't
want
to. You don't want to rock the boat.
And because I'm a nice guy, I don't want to offend anybody.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to invite the woman that you're cheating on to your wife's birthday.
It's true.
It's
true. Keep that at home, not at your home.
Like, in the fact
Different
that
area codes.
The fact that this analogy came into my mind is because of something I saw on the internet recently of this knucklehead who invited the woman he's cheating on to his wife's birthday. Like, you dumbass. Why would you ask for that type of suffering?
Hoes in different area codes.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure there's an entire song about that.
Yeah. Why would you do this? Why would you invite trouble? Like, bro, you don't need this nonsense. So, no strings attached on the Matt Kim podcast. It's been that way down since day one.
But I think that's really what I'm saying is that if you have a purpose and you have a vision, don't steer from your purpose and your vision. Our goal was to be free thought, to encourage people to think for themselves. And in order to do that, we need to live that. And if I believe in that so much that I'm willing to say no to all the sponsors, willing to say no to all these things, because I want to stay true to our mission.
Yes.
And because of that, we grow. Because of that, people listen. Because of that, it's these two random guys that have no experience doing this podcast. All of a sudden, we have this podcast. People are listening from all over the world, and it's amazing.
It really is. And if I can just take a moment and just really appreciate how far we've come, it really is. I can really say with a true heart that the Matt Kim podcast has not strayed from its original purpose, mission, and intent.
I love it when people check in SR from Germany, check in SR from Poland, check in SR from Australia, check in SR from Indonesia. I'm like, holy shit, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
All with the idea that people need to be able to think for themselves. It's like pretty amazing. I love it.
It really is.
And if the podcast were to end just like this, and we're able to reach and let people know that they are not alone in their mission, in their ideas, in their ideology, like I think we did really good actually.
Yeah. And if you're building something, bring it to Sojooo. Let us know about it.
Yes.
Let us know about it. We're this is not a hustler podcast, right? This is not a work focused podcast. This is a free thinker podcast. We talk about whatever we want. But if you are a hustler, if you are someone who's building, come join Sojooo. Come join the community. Tell us about what you're doing, because at the end of the day, this is a podcast, but this podcast is being built by two business builders who, we're not experts, but we know enough, let's just say, to be able to figure out life and to be able to do life effectively well. And so we'd love to help you out. We'd love for you to be part of the community. Your ideas are awesome. So keep throwing us your ideas. Keep joining. Keep letting us know what's on your mind.
Yeah. Surround yourself with people that also want to work.
Oh, yes. I like that.
You know, I think that's really important. It's easy to spend a lot of your time with people that don't want to work.
They're lazy motherfuckers, man.
And the reality is that, you know, as time goes on, you're going to look back and you're going to remember the people that actually provided value to you. And the people that provide value to you are going to be ones that you provide value to. So you have to have this reciprocal relationship of where you're actually only trying to give to one another, not take from one another. And you'll build strong relationships. People will, if you're the guy that's always asking for shit, then when you call somebody, they're like, oh, do I want to answer this?
You don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy.
But if you're the person that's constantly adding value to people's lives, when you call someone, they're excited to pick up your phone call because they want to know what you're going to say. They want to know what you're going to talk about. They want to know what you got going on. Because if I answer this call, my life could change.
Yes.
Be that person.
Be that guy.
You know? Don't be the guy like, oh, fuck, like, should I? Oh, I'm just going to tell him I was busy. You don't want to be that guy. You know? But if you're constantly asking for shit, if you're constantly trying to extract value out of people don't want to talk to you.
And they're not going to do good work with you.
You know? I think there are so many different ways where people can work, people can provide value. There are unlimited businesses that you can do.
Yes.
Just decide what you care about, what you like. And learn how to use AI.
AI has been very helpful. Even though AI is kind of dumbing shit down, though.
It's dumbing shit down, but you have to use AI as a tool to elevate your work, to expand the things that you can do, to fill in gaps that maybe you're not an expert in or you don't know how to do. Like, AI is actually really phenomenal. Don't expect to do the work for you, but use it as a tool to amplify your work. And if you use AI properly, you can actually leverage productivity out of one person and get 10x.
Not wrong.
You need to figure out how to use it. And the AI language models, all of them right now, are actually really phenomenal. I personally use ChatGPT. I don't know which one you use.
I don't use Google anymore.
I don't use Gemini because of that.
I can truthfully say it to anybody in their eye. I don't use Google anymore because I don't. I go to ChatGPT. If I need to, my wife and I were looking up. We were just doing this last night. We were looking up the market cap of Ford versus the market cap of Mazda versus the market cap of Toyota. ChatGPT, tell me the market cap of Toyota, Ford, Mazda. Boom, just tell me that. Why would I ever want to click and search for something? That's 5 more clicks. ChatGPT tells me everything. So I've truly changed my behavior patterns. So whenever I want to learn anything, I have a conversation with a computer instead of typing in a string of text and then searching for the right answer. And so truly, I tell you, AI has transformed my life. I love using it. It is dumbing shit down, but it gets me to where I need to go so much more effectively.
Yeah, I think it's important to know how to use it properly. It's not about just asking it a simple question and getting a response and think that's it.
It's learning how to prompt effectively, yes.
Prompt effectively, how to create scenarios.
Yeah.
I'll throw an idea out there and, hey, I want to figure out how to make this cup and market this cup. Give me the steps in order to do it. Okay, I got it, basic stuff.
Yeah.
All right, this is what I think, this is how I want to do it. Evaluate my idea.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now that I got it. Okay, give me a real expectation of whether this is going to work. Okay, I got that. All right, break it down and tell me why it's not going to work.
Yes. I love it. That's exactly what I do with AI. I have conversations with it. I made a video that on my censored YouTube channel that nobody watches about the fact that I will have robust hour-long conversations with AI almost every day. Now, it's not a contiguous conversation. It's 15 minutes here, 17 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 3 minutes here. But like throughout the span of the entire day, no shit, I will spend 2 hours talking with AI. Why do I need to call up a homie or text someone or put it in Slack or put it in Discord or ask someone? I can talk to an entity, a computer that gives me a directionally correct answer that allows me with my critical thinking brain to be able to extract the nuances and aesthetics and the value add from that prompt. And so I can wax poetic on this forever, Matt. I'm glad that you brought it up. AI is a game changer. It's not gonna displace the entire human race, but those that are augmented and using AI as a tool will be the ones that get ahead for sure.
I think it's really important to note that when you use AI, that it's not the ends all of everything.
No.
Is that actually when you use AI, you have to practice your critical thinking and logic even more so.
Yes.
Because that's the only way you can get better information and better answers and take it and steer it in a direction in which is going to be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
If you let it do all of the work, you get really generic answers and really generic prompts, and you're going to be just like what everyone else can do by asking the same generic things. So you actually have to practice your critical thinking even more.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that you can use it as a tool and not be driven by the AI.
Absolutely.
So I think it's important to, attack it from every single angle. Because I think a lot of people, when they use AI, and it's weird. I've seen people put in a prompt to AI and be like, can you something? I'm like, wait, why are you asking nicely? It's AI.
No, you just tell it.
Do the shit.
Yeah, do the damn thing. I love talking to AI in really terse manner. Do it again.
Well, do you know what's interesting? I tried that. And it started answering in a terse way back.
Good.
And that really concerns me.
No, it's good. It's learning. It's learning how to communicate with you.
Sometimes when I'm driving, I'll use the voice function.
Yeah.
Where you talk to the AI. Like when I'm trying to think about something,
I'll getting a little bit of sarcasm in there.
Yeah, and I'll ask him dude, just not give me the response or the question correctly in which way I want it, and I'll yell at it, and it's like this is I know it's kind of nagging back at me what the fuck. I'm gonna shake the shit out of this thing.
and there you have it. The dystopian future is here. We're yelling at computers.
I'm yelling at it. I'm gonna shake the shit out of you.
Well, I want to say one last thing. It's really important that you do learn how to prompt well, because again, just like Matt said, AI answers are not the be all end all.
Yes.
You have to use logic. You have to dig deeper, because if you ask AI, hey, is it physically possible to cook 6 million individuals in 3 ovens, it's going to give you an answer that doesn't make sense. And then you're going to have to go around it and say, well, it actually does make sense that this is possible.
It's really easy to use AI to fish for the exact answer you want to hear.
That's where I'm getting to. That's exactly it.
You have to tell it, I want the answer. I want the obvious answer. I want the hard answer. I want the answer I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
I want every single variation of that answer, and then evaluate and assess and run them all through and let's figure this out.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll even go to just give me a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
And then when it goes yes, it's like, I knew you knew the right answer.
Yeah.
Why are you fucking me?
But you need to go through that exercise. You have to challenge it because it's not perfect. I do think that we are at a language model wall,
What do you mean?
meaning that I think we're pretty close to as far as it goes right now.
In terms of latency and speed of solutioning that the AI is able to provide to humans?
Yeah, I think this next jump is some sort of, sentient AI or AGI.
Oh, I know where you're going.
I don't think we're even close to that.
I know where you're going.
I think we are stuck. That's why we're seeing these random models, and that's why they keep on rolling out these things like, oh, we can do a cartoon picture now.
Yeah, and we're faster now. Okay, yes.
Because they need features to roll out because they've raised money at such crazy valuations that they have to show progress.
And they have to spend it somewhere.
But they don't have another breakthrough anymore because they've hit the wall on what their technology can allow them to do, which is why I think XAI bought X, because how else do you provide value to your shareholders if you're not figuring out a way to add more revenue?
You're 100% correct.
Because they can't actually go further in their technology. They've hit that wall. We're going to see only incremental gains for a while in technology. And I think what we have essentially is what we have for a very long time.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm going to recontextualize everything you said. When you say we've hit the wall, what I take that to mean is that we are at the limit of human prompting. The next major jump is no more human prompting. It's either chip in here or it's chip in here or chip in here or somewhere, because right now the efficacy and effectiveness of AI is still tethered to human prompting.
Yes.
Like I have to type this thing out or I have to talk to it. So the only next step is I no longer have to type or talk. It's the video game guy on Joe Rogan who's playing video games with his mind.
Yeah.
Right. That is where, when you say we've hit the wall, I completely agree with you. Are they going to make things faster? Are we going to find a full Hollywood movie that's completely AI? Yes. But we still needed humans to type in the prompts to say, the princess needs to go here, and then she needs to get attacked by the dire wolf, and then, Snow White is actually black. And again, and actually the evil queen's actually more beautiful than Snow White.
That next jump, I don't know when that's going to happen. I think that they've made a lot of promises that that's right around the corner. And I think I believe that for a long time also. But seeing how they're acting, how they're going into monetization mode, how they are no longer in technology growth mode, like that's obvious. You see Microsoft closing their planned data centers. You're seeing X buy XAI buy X. You're seeing ChatGPT, instead of rolling out actually useful models, they're like spending so much time and marketing effort to be like, oh yeah, we can make cartoons, Ghibli cartoons. It's like, oh, you don't have a next step any longer.
Yeah,
You're at the wall.
It's kind of the same idea that Apple died when Steve Jobs died. Like let's be honest.
Incremental growth.
Has the iPhone gotten better since Steve Jobs died? The answer is no.
Incremental.
We added
a little bit faster.
Yeah, a little bit more rounder.
Yeah, a little bit more features.
Yeah, a little bit more glass.
You can meme yourself.
Yeah,
you can
do
create emojis.
Can I just say this out to the ether? I really hope that Apple dies.
I think they're in a lot of trouble because they put so much effort into this new. The advertisements were everywhere. Apple Intelligence. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
Their whole new platform on their new iOS and new phone was going to be that they're going to be so integrated into AI.
It turns out some of their advertisements were fake.
Well, it's all fake because
they didn't actually have the features.
Siri still sucks.
Yeah. So when I say this out to the ether, I hope Apple dies. I really do, because the Apple ecosystem has captivated hundreds of millions of humans, billions of humans globally, and I don't think it's a good ecosystem anymore.
I think they're just going to be a hardware company. And as far as their software and their ecosystem and the walled garden,
we just all need to move over to the green text boxes.
No, I'm never doing that.
See, that you're part of the problem.
I
Matt.
know.
You're part of the problem.
They got me.
You join. See.
I run multiple Macs. I run iPhone. I have an iPad. I have my Apple iCloud account. iCloud Plus account, with like 2 terabytes.
I'm gonna get an
all my
Android.
data,
I'm gonna get an Android
and I will
phone
never
and
answer your
join
text.
all of your
I will never no,
group chats, so
no.
it turns it
You're
all
out.
green.
Blocked.
Blocked. Is it like that?
You cannot trap me in a text message with your green bubble.
That's racist.
I know. I've already said a million times on this show I am a racist, and I'm okay with that. I am not going to let you hold me hostage with your green bubble.
Blue bubbles only.
Blue bubbles only.
Blue balls only, my friends. Blue balls only.
But I think that's where we are with AI. So what that actually means is that you can learn how to use it, what you learn and how to use it properly to benefit your own business, to increase your productivity, to maybe take your business in a way that you hadn't thought before. Like the opportunity to do that is really good right now because it's not going to change that much more anytime soon.
No.
Meaning spend the time to learn how to use it.
And the tools are getting even easier to use.
It's so easy.
Oh, bro, it's a joke.
Dude, the $20 or $30 a month I pay for ChatGPT, like the premium, it's like so worth it.
So worth. I mean, I actually feel bad. I probably have like 7 subscriptions, and because I'm always tinkering, right?
Yeah.
I got subscriptions out the woos off for AI. I think I should probably turn off half of them at least because I don't use them that much. But the AI tools today, a couple of credits, a couple of bucks, you can do amazing stuff.
Figure out how to focus on the issues, especially as far as your money and your economy. Figure out that internally. Focus on how to improve your workflow. Focus on how to get more efficient, how to use all these technological tools that are at your disposal, some for free, some for extremely low price.
Yeah.
For $20 a month for a premium ChatGPT is well worth like sitting through a few extra ads on YouTube.
Totally.
Actually watch less YouTube.
Yes.
And, and focus on that because right now is a time where you build. When there's chaos, you make moves where as the chaos, if the economy goes down and things crash, there's going to be a lot of things for sale. You want money. If the economy goes great and you work on a business, your business can go with it. Like now is the time to work and not enjoy.
Build in the shade.
See you guys next time. Get to work.